All right, everybody. Trying to remember where I'm at. A little flustered. Starting a little later today. Just running late from something, but let's see what we can knock out before I have to call it quits for the day. That is up really high. Okay, so input not scaled when added after. Oh, okay, so we can actually close this one because our adding the ability to scale the input and where we defaulted to the mixer side, that solves that issue, so we can definitely close that. I still want to test RTMP too. There's a part of me that really wants to try that. Let's see. I have another PC next to me that we could use to stream something to RTMP and figure out, because remember we didn't have sound, right? This one. So let's test this. Maybe we have like some sort of issue with the way we were pushing and then pulling it, and we were doing it all inside of the same streamer, as well as, yeah, I mean, and the jitter could have been like our own encoder. So we could test this. I could stream here, and maybe that's the thing to do real quick. Okay, do we save the code for that? Oh wait, no, it would be in main. Main. Put my... I keep this office like an ice box. Okay. So we could come in here and create our mixer. And oh, actually, let's just do this. We don't need this. Okay. Because we have this second mixer down here. That is what we are most interested in. Because this one... we're just going to maintain the defaults, I guess. And that's another thing we should test too. Oh, we need to implement output size too. Okay. So this is going to pull in from our first RTMP endpoint point, and then it's going to push it to our other one. Okay. Is that really not going to build? Oh, we need our bot running too. Okay. I'm gonna just turn over here to, you can't see it, but kind of, can you see? You might be able to see there's a monitor over here. I'm gonna just turn over here really quick and see if I can start pushing this 1080p stream to this RTMP endpoint and at least figure out whether that bug that we had regarding jitter is an issue with our streamer, or whether it is actually just this computer being overloaded, right? Because at that point, it's like pulling and demultiplexing one stream and then re-encoding it, pushing it somewhere, then pulling it back down. So it's quite possible, you know, combined with what the encoder is doing for my own stream, it's quite possible that it's just overloaded. Oh, wait, I guess we have a bug to fix. Mismatched types expected, struct config found. Oh, because we changed all of this stuff out. All right, let's line 81. So, wait. Wait a second. That's not right. Expected struct. Oh, right. Okay. That is because this is now a mixer config, and we'll just say name is RTMP input, and then we'll just we'll do a mixer default config. Is that not right? Unexpected token. Consider adding a main function. Wait, what? Main function not found. What am I missing here? Let config equal. All right, what does this complain about? Cannot use a comma after a base struct. Oh, okay. What is this? Oh, because this wants dot toString. And that should be our config. Can I find value server in this scope? Oh, all right. How about now? This function takes 2 arguments, but 3 arguments were supplied. Oh, because this is what takes the config. And we added features to this, right? Okay, now let's try. So I'm just gonna turn it over here real quick and push this video. What was my command? All right. FFmpeg. X264. AC1. All right, what was our URL for this? This is, oh, okay, we need to send it here. Okay, that looks like it's pushing. So now if we go pull up our HLS manifest here, we should be able to see Big Buck Bunny. There we go. So this video is actually being pushed from a machine I have over here, over RTMP. And it looks pretty seamless. I can't tell what's going on there. Okay. Looks good. So let's now try to start this up, which is going to pull from that RTMP feed and push it to another RTMP location. Oh, we have some sort of... Oh, it's not gonna work. Because we didn't do an await here. Oh, okay. All right, so now we're in a playing state. So let's see whether we can pull up this other RTMP. Do we have sound? So that's the original. Okay. So we really are missing sound here. And we do have jitter. Okay. So we at least confirmed that bug. This is going to be a pain to track down for sure. I think I just heard a little bit of sound on there. Odd. Okay. What else do we have to track down? I still do want to do this refactoring too, but I have the feeling that we're going to break a lot of stuff here. And we have to solve this one. Although I am kind of curious that if we solve this one, whether we end up solving, or if we implement this, whether we solve this. And then the other thing we didn't finish from last stream is we didn't add location, and we didn't implement this for outputs. And we also need to do audio or video only. We have a lot of stuff. We did close this though. Configure evolve volume. We did implement that. Okay. All right. Where do we want to start? Implementing output size might be interesting. I mean, because we already did this yesterday on the input, right? So we check out our input. We have
Someone finds you interesting.
config.
It appears we have a new follower.
Coding with Jerry, thanks so much for the follow. Okay, so we did implement this on our input yesterday, where we bring in a mixer config, which allows us to configure our video frame rate and stuff. So I wonder whether we should just, to continue along what we did yesterday, whether we should just go ahead and implement this on our output. I do want to do that inner video source and sync stuff though. I've been putting that one off for a while. Let's look at our outputs real quick. So we have it in two places. I'm also very curious. Very curious what the deal with the audio is. Because we're definitely getting audio here, right? Let's send it here really quick. I'm going to open an issue here really quick too so that I don't forget. Output. Add ability to change resolution and volume. We're going to call it a bug and an enhancement. All right, just so we don't forget that we have to do that. I do want to test this though. Okay, so we definitely have audio coming through here. And we know that if we pull a video, we can push it and have audio. So it seems our issue is only when we connect to, when we're pulling from RTMP and pushing. So we lose the audio somewhere. So let's run this really quick, and then I'm gonna look at the SVG output to figure out what our pipeline looks like. The other thing we could probably do as well as maybe just run it to an auto video sync here locally and see whether we get audio here. Okay, so we see video and audio. McCann, what's going on? Okay, so we see that it links, right? It's 2. Okay. Okay, so we see it come into our audio convert, and we see it go into a volume here. And we see it go into our audio mixer. So why? Looking to avoid a little work this afternoon. I know the feeling. Okay, so we do have this. I don't know what's going to happen here, but these are clearly single channel. And we're trying to set a 2-channel. But so far, I don't see a reason why this would create an audio issue, right? It's only when we pull from RTMP. Wait, where's main? We didn't add an auto in here, did we? Okay. So let's try it this way. This is auto. Try it again. Hey, Aaron, what's going on? I'm currently debugging some stuff to, you know, we're not going to solve the issue right now, but I want to make sure that we kind of fully understand what's happening. We have some issues where when our input is an RTMP source, we end up having... Oh, that's right, we can't test this here. I keep forgetting that's another bug that we have. We have this issue where if our... Is this only for RTMP? Let's try it. Okay, let's change our input. And we're going to use Sintel here. Lost it. All right, Sintel, where are you at? All right, we are going to remove that. And then this we want on Eric.dev2, and we need to await this. Okay. So now rather than our... We're not importing that? We are. URI. Oh, because it wants a config. Right. We're still going to call it an RTMP. Okay. We're just going to pass through the same config. Okay. Doing good. Watching some stuff for work. Maybe even the famous standards of business. Yeah, I still need to do the SPC or SBC training stuff too. Just remuxing, no transcoding. In theory, it should just be doing that. So we're just sort of testing a few things out here. So now we're going to try and just pull from that WebM file and play it to this local player here. How you doing, Bartholomew? I'm hoping to follow along a little closer. Okay. Wait a second. That's not right. Because... Wait a second. I messed something up here. Okay. So here we're creating our mixer. And that's that URI. Is that our issue? Okay, yeah. So we need... That was my mistake. So... Here. Okay. Now we should be getting Sintel. I hope. That's just a literal. It's just... I just made it up. It's just a placeholder for what will be like an authenticated stream key in the future. So we could have literally had that been anything we want. Okay. So both of our issues are only RTMP. So now that that is interesting to me. So now the question becomes, is our issue just whatever this URI decode bin, right? Because right now we're just using URI. So one thing that we could do is we could try to implement an RTMP input specifically, right? Let's try and do that really quick here. So we're gonna make this messy. So we could do something like a GST launch 1.0 RTMP source location equals, where is our RTMP? No. Yeah. So let's see if we can get this just using our own pipeline, like from the command line. Okay, so that would be our input, right? And then we're going to take that input. Are we going to need to convert it? We might need to convert it. But the idea would hopefully be like send it to like an auto video sync, right? And see whether that works, right? We might need to do a bunch of stuff, but pipeline doesn't want to reroll. I don't know. Maybe we should do that. We can throw all of the code away if we don't use it, but let's try to come into input and create our own RTMP input. It's quite possible that let's see. It's quite possible that that's our sort of issue, right? So we should be able to mostly use the from URI, right? I say let's use that as our starting point. Okay. Okay. That's basically going to be the same thing except for this one change of elements. So here, we're going to make that, I think it's a GST inspect RTMP source. Okay. So here's our RTMP source. And let's see what it has for pads. So we just have a source pad. It's not even a pad template. Let's see if we can find an example of using this. Well, yeah, that much we knew. Well, I guess this would be a starting point to check, right? So we could copy this, right? Where's main?
Intruder alert. An unauthorized connection has been detected.
Rambling Geek, thanks so much for the raid. How was your stream? Okay, let's Oh. 1.0. What were you working on? Build a delayed linking some pad of GST decode bin named decode bin 0 to... Okay. So this is clearly like some old thing. I just want to see a working example. Here we go. That's what we want. Because here we can see that we've got the demuxer. We name it demuxer. Q, RTMP sync. And then here we're saying the audio from the demuxer we're going to send through a queue, and then we're going to send it to the FLV mux. Okay. Oh, cool. You're doing a computer vision app? We are attempting to build an RTMP switcher. I do not yet know how successful we are. Right now we're trying to debug an issue that we have where if we use a URL, if we play like a WebM file, we get audio out. However, when we try to fetch from an RTMP endpoint, we end up getting no audio. And so we're trying to figure out what is going on there. Oh, okay. We're doing video stuff, so I just assumed. Okay, so there's that. And we're going to send it to the backup version.
Someone finds you interesting, sir. It appears we have a new follower.
Augur, thanks so much for the follow. Is that going to work?
Sir, please. It is not only your reputation at stake here. Do be careful.
All right. We're pushing RTMP on the other side. Let's see what happens. Okay. That looks like it's rolling. So here is, this is the main one that we're pushing our video to. Buffering. Do it. What's interesting is that, there we go. Okay, there's that one. Now let's try our other one and see whether that's working. Okay, so we have sound here. So that works. So our issue, I'm going to take this and, I don't know, leave it in a comment up here. Or not. Okay. So that is a working pipeline. So we should be able to like prove our theory by saying something like this, right? So we were using a URI decode bin, right? And is that it? No. Where's our URI? Oh, I typoed it. That's my bad. All right. So in theory, this is a similar pipeline that we're using. So maybe it's just an issue with URI decode bin. Pipeline doesn't want to pre-roll. Why not? Okay, no URI, because it's not, it's URI, not location here. All right, so we do have some linking issues. Yeah, we're just stuck in buffering. Wait. It took several seconds before that running output started. Do you mean on the RTMP side? McCann, yeah. So Big Buck Bunny you will find everywhere in the video streaming world. That and Sintel, because they're both created by Blender 3D, and they're completely Creative Commons, so you can use them for anything you need to. So that's why we are using them for testing. Okay, so we have some sort of issue here. Let's see. I don't think that's going to work the way we want it to, because we're not going to have this pad linking. I don't even see a... Every CLI app wants to pull a certain amount of the source stream. Yeah, and so that's sort of the issue, right? You got to get the buffers just right, and that seems to be a lot of problem that I have, is like the pipeline will lock up because the buffers. Yeah, you basically have to like fill up all of the buffers everywhere, and if one buffer needs more data, but other buffers don't have room for data, you sort of get like this lock where no new data is being produced from the source because there's nowhere for it to go down each side. And that stuff is like a pain to track down. At least I don't know enough about debugging this stuff to be able to track it down. So, wait, what is this complaining about? Expected struct mixer input found struct mixer input RTMP. Isn't that right? 393. Oh, because we don't have a RTMP variant, right? So we need an RTMP variant here. And then we're gonna have to do the same thing here. RTMP. 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 Hey Melky Dev, what's going on? We're trying to do some debugging here to see whether we can get our RTMP sources to work. Okay, so we want our impl of our RTMP. We already have an RTMP source here. This is likely not going to work, right? Wait, what is this complaint about? Expected struct mixer input URI. Why wouldn't that work? Oh, duh. Because this is a RTMP, right? Okay. So now let's just try and go into main here and do a URI, right? We're going to have two, so we're going to need input RTMP. I'm just going to do this. We're not using this? Okay. There we go. Output. All right, let's try it. What kind of schoolwork are you doing, Melky? What class? Is it fun stuff or boring stuff? It's lame stuff. Nice. Property URI. Oh, right. Because we need to change that on that particular input. RTMP source. It's actually location. We need to go through and clean up all of our warnings at some point too. All right, what do we got? Trying to dispose element input RTMP, but it's failed to add input. Why? Failed to add input. Why would you fail to add the input? I don't think it has anything to do with all of this stuff. We're not going to need this, I believe. So let's just see if we can get this up and working.
Find you interesting, sir. It appears we have a new follower.
Dragon Skulls, thanks so much for the follow. You need a simple song to play on the guitar? What genre? And how skilled of a player are you? You don't. Okay, so now the question is, so line 10, wait. So where are we going wrong here? Let's just, let's work our print lines through here really quick. So here we created it, right? Created source element. Is this the point at which it fails? We are attempting to build an RTMP switcher. So we want to be able to switch, like live video streamers. We want to be able to like transition between them while maintaining one live stream going out. But we're currently trying to debug some issues that we have. We've up until now we've been testing against like pre-recorded videos, and now we're trying to test against like an actual RTMP source, and we have some sort of issue with it, and we are trying to figure that out. All right, so here's where that's created. So at what point is this happening? Trying to dispose element art. Okay, so I think this is I think some sort of error, probably after teardown. All right, what do we got? Yeah, this stack trace doesn't look helpful either. Okay, so now, at what point are we failing? Let's try the opposite approach. Let's go all the way to the end of here and see whether we even make it here. Elements created. Okay. And let's go to the linking phase too. It's quite possible that it's somewhere in here, right? Adding elements to pipeline. Linking audio elements. Okay. Linking video elements. Done linking. Okay. I think the only Green Day song I want to say I can play, but let's be real. I don't know how great I am at guitar, or was when I used to play all the time, and it's been a while. So, but I used to be able to play Good Riddance. Okay, let's see. Elements created. Interesting. So the linking phase isn't even happening, right? So we make it to the elements created part, and the only thing that happens there is we return back this input to the mixer. We see that. We do not see link being called. Okay, so is our issue here setting of state? Let's do this really quick. Jose's a good person to ask about guitar stuff, though. Okay, okay, so it looks like there's just some sort of issue in our set state logic. I mean, because we're stuck in this pause state here. I'm going to restart this really quick and then see what happens. Oh, because we never synchronized the state. So, okay, so that clearly is our issue. So we have some sort of bug there. Let's figure it out. We'll leave these print line messages here for now. Let's go to set state here and figure out what's going on. Oh, we also have an issue too. Where's our working thing here, right? No, I guess we don't have is live, right? GST inspect RTMP source live. Okay, so we don't need an is live on that. So which one of these fails? One way to find out. Setting source. Setting state. All right. All right. Audio convert. Audio resample. Volume. Audio cue. Video convert. Video scale. Video rate. Video caps filter. Video cue. Okay. Chromo, thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this come along a little further. Right now we're in like the, prototype proof of concept phase and kind of ironing out some kinks and exploring both the Rust language and GStreamer library a bit. But I think this is going to be really cool when we make it a bit further along. Okay, so it looks like it's on setting state. Okay. So it's definitely when we're setting the state of our source. And our source is our RTMP source. So what am I missing here? Why does this not want? What happens if we just skip this one? I mean, I'm hoping for people to jump in, and I can probably get some help on some of the front end stuff and ironing out the API and better error handling and stuff. But I may be all on my own on figuring out the GStreamer side of things. Okay, so in this case, we have all of this stuff. I mean, we're stuck in this paused state. I don't understand is why this one we can't set the state on. And I'm pretty sure we're supposed to set the state before we add it to the pipeline, but I could be wrong here. But yeah, this is completely open, so anybody who wants to jump in and submit pull requests and stuff, it's here. I can drop a link too. And we have some contingency plans too if it's not ready for GopherCon. This would just be the much cooler way to do it. So change state change error. That's not helpful though.
It appears we have a new follower.
Chromosun Drift, thanks so much for the follow. Okay. So this is definitely our issue. Let's try something really quick. Let's see if we if we set the state, if we do the state change afterward, does that fix it? And really, I think this state change thing should be async. You're only going if we use this software. Yeah, I think the state change setting does happen asynchronously, for sure. But up until now, we haven't found an input. So We haven't found an issue with this. So far, it's only with this new RTMP source element that we seem to be having our issue with the state change. And the interesting thing about it, though, is we have to get it into a playing state, though. So I know that we can add some pad probes and things like that, too. How do we get this into a playing state, though? If this is going to fail, how do we get it into a playing state? And we can't just skip that one, right? Because then that's the source. Where's the matrix when you need it? I just need to be imparted with all kinds of GStreamer wisdom. Like current stream time to buffers. Actually, I want to check something really quick. What happened? What has URID code been? Do we have one of those do timestamps? No. Okay. Yeah, we don't have any sort of callbacks here, right? Yeah. And state change is set before linking elements. So I don't... Well, oh crap, we're going to need a demuxer. I'm crazy. All right, so we do need a couple of things here. This isn't going to fix our issue, but there are a couple of things missing here, right? We do need a demux, right? And if we look at even our working example here, right? You see how we have the FLV demux. So that is something we still need here. So let's call it FLV demux. You go away. FLV demux, okay. FLV demux, okay. So that's there. We do need to also add it to here. FLV demux, okay. This isn't going to fix our issue, but we don't need all of this either. That's going to go away. Okay. And let's FLV demux. Demux. Okay. Okay. Linking. We want to link our source to our FLV demux. Okay. Or that's just adding. So same thing. Let's take our demux here. We also need source. So source is going to link to the demuxer. The audio side of the demuxer will go out to an audio convert. And then we need to do the same thing on the video side. in theory. I mean, we're still going to have an issue, but because right now that that state change is happening before we link, so none of this is going to really matter. Oh, we need to remove our LV demux here too. Why? Okay, where's our set state? You know, the irony of it is there's like a 24-hour video engineers like meetup going on right now on Twitch. Like, we need those people. Where are they? Come help us. Ooh. Failed to link elements. Which elements did you fail to link? Okay, let's see. The source is the RTMP source, so let's just... This should just have one pad, which is the source pad, right? And its capabilities are any. Okay, and we're trying to send that into an FLV demux, which has a sync pad with XFLV. Okay. Sometimes there's audio. And sometimes video. Okay. Okay, so it does have a pad added. Okay. So I take it back. All of that logic I said we don't need. We need. Okay. So let's take that out of there. Wait a second. We need those to be added to the pipeline. Yes, it's the linking we don't want to occur. Right? So if we go back up and look at our URI implementation, right? This is a new. So this is what we want. Okay. That's going to be on the demuxer. I take it back. Okay. Where's our demuxer? You need to come up here. Okay. So now we're saying when the FL demuxer gets a pad added, this is what we're going to do. We're going to connect these. Let's just move it to the end of the function. Okay. Is that the same way we implemented it before? Yeah, okay. Okay. So on the demuxer, when we get a pad added, it should all work the same. Okay. So then in our linking, we're not going to link any of these things. Wait a second. No, we need to link our source to our demuxer. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is this. That way, once it starts pulling from the RTMP and demuxing it, then it triggers the other stuff. Okay. But the connection between the demuxer and the audio convert is actually done inside the callback. Right? Wait. Right, okay. And so we don't want to do this because the same thing happens for the video. Okay. Dr. Dumenberg, how's it going? Okay. How about now? We're still going to have an issue with that state change thing. Right? Oh, no, we have it commented out. Prime, what's going on? Not bad, not bad. Trying to debug some weird issues with our pipeline when we use RTMP. So we've managed to get kind of videos coming in and streaming out to either locally or to an external RTMP
It is
endpoint.
not only your reputation at stake here. Do be careful.
What's the one, crap, what was the one I set up now? Is it spaghetti?
Would you like me to look up a recipe for a light bolognese sauce? It should pair quite nicely with your spaghetti code. Someone finds you interesting, sir. It appears we have a new follower.
Michael, thanks so much for the follow. So Prime, I don't think I've ever asked, what do you work on at Netflix? Do you work on any of the video players and stuff like that? Oh, do you not hear the sound on the... Do you not hear the sound on those effects? Let me look at my levels.
Would you like me to look up a recipe for a light bolognese sauce? It should pair quite nicely with your spaghetti code.
Oh, just low. Gotcha. I didn't know you work at Netflix Prime. Also super interested in what you work on. Okay, so right now we've got all of the elements being added. However, we're stuck in this pause state, and that's because we never put our RTMP source into a playing state. And we're gonna need to do that to our FLV demuxer too. But we already know what's going to happen here. Oh, cool. You work on network stuff and caching. What was that caching project that Netflix built in Go? They did a talk at GopherCon about it. Oh, you're going to build your own HTTP2 implementation? That's fun. What was it called? Gopher Con, Netflix. Was it? No. What was it? Netflix? Was it Netflix or was it Twitch? Maybe it was Twitch's caching thing. I swore it was Netflix, but say it was Falcor. I don't think Falcor doesn't sound familiar. The only Falcor I know is the Systigs container security thing. Falco, not Falcor. Falco. Wait, good? Why is that like something that is not supposed to be disclosed publicly that he... Okay, oh, it's just not great. Gotcha, okay. Yeah, those projects that exist and you wish would die somewhere, but they somehow live on forever. Okay, so... Now we're... Wait, what state is that? Mod line 134. Oh, okay, that's when we get the state of the pipeline. It's playing, but it's still us setting our source state. We're getting a state change error. So I don't understand why we can't set the state of this one element type. And I don't know that inside of... Let's go check out the GStreamer. I'm just going to pull... Okay. They have an examples directory. I don't think they have an RTMP source here. Yeah, I didn't think so. And I'm positive one also does not exist in the tutorials either. But yeah, it doesn't. Okay, so this is not giving us very helpful messages. Let's see if we can do this. Cargo. Let's set GST debug equal to 2, and then let's set RTMP source equal to 6, and then do a cargo run and see what we see. Oops. Might help if I was in the right directory. So true. Failed to activate pad. RTMP connect failed to connect socket. Unknown protocol. Wait, what? Oh. Because we still have this web address. All right. Where's our RTMP? We never changed that back. So what we probably want to do, if this works, is look at that. So let's get it playing. All right, we're now pushing Big Buck Bunny. Let's see what happens. All right, so we have some sort of timestamping problem. Okay, let's kill this really quick. And let's just look at our preview here to make sure Big Buck Bunny's coming through. Alright, so we have Big Buck Bunny. Let's try again. Okay, so we still have some sort of issue here. A lot of buffers are being dropped. Okay, that's not helpful. Let's try sending it to an RTMP output and not our auto thing. I just want to see it working, output. So that was our weird state change issue, at least, right? Is now knowing that, hey, we tried to feed it a URL that wasn't RTMP, so no wonder why it didn't want to go into a playing state. Mismatched types. Expected enum switcher output found enum standard result. Wait, what? Oh, because expect. Right? Okay. Okay. So now let's try and take it from one RTMP URL and push it to another. We've got a bunch of latency queries, but come on. Okay, so we're missing. So now we don't have anything going on here. All right, let's go look at our pipeline and see whether we can't figure out what's going on. Okay, well, let's find it. So we know we have this RTMP sync going out, right? Because we can see the running background video, but somehow our Ecton Dev, how's it going? Oh, I just caught the raid. Thanks so much for the raid, man. How was your stream? Okay, so we know that we have data flowing out of the mixer, right? At this point, because we can see stuff here. So our issue now is, yes, we don't hear or see audio or video. So let's walk this back. So we do have multiple audio channels coming in, and we do have multiple video channels coming in. So did we see the link message at all? All right, let's get rid of all of the debug output. All right, pipeline state change from pause to pause. All right, our audio pad came in. Okay, so we still have some sort of error here. Okay, so we have something that's not linked. Hey Rockstar, what's going on, man? That was it, bye. It's like just a drive-by hello. Okay, so we need to figure out which thing is not linked. Can we see that from this side? So here's our RTM. Ooh, okay. So this looks like our issue, right? So our RTMP source is here, and we can see that that is connected to the sink on our demuxer. However, we can also see the video convert here, and we should have an audio convert dangling somewhere as well here. Okay, so our issue is that the pads over here on our demuxer are not being connected. So let's go see if we can figure that out. Let's get rid of a lot of these print lines too. We need to change all these things out to debug too. Where's our linking? All right. Okay. So those come through okay. So here we're seeing that we receive a new pad. So let's find that. That is here. Okay, so that logic that we see here is when we add our source to the pipeline and then connect it to our demuxer, it's going to discover pads. Like as it starts processing this feed coming from RTMP through the FLV container format, it's going to look for what streams are available inside of it. And then it's going to add pads dynamically to itself. So we're in like this callback method down here that is called every time a new pad is added to that element, and we're trying to figure out how to connect it to the rest of our pipeline. How did you get that graph view? Yeah, so there is there's a environment variable GStreamer dot graph environment variable. There you go. GST debug dot directory. This GST dump dot directory, we can set that. And I have something in my mixer here that basically has a method that says, hey, at this moment in time, I want you to generate a dot file for the current state of the pipeline. And then there's an HTTP endpoint that calls this and then also converts the dot file into an SVG and then just passes that data back to the browser. So we have to do a lot of debugging of the pipeline to figure out what's going on with it. So I just figured it seemed like a really useful thing to do is just to have this endpoint that we hit that displays this for us. Because I was having to type the commands to convert the dot file to SVG and all that stuff over and over again. It was kind of a pain. No, it's just so even if you were just running like say this command here, right? Just doing GST launch for your own stuff, similar to like FFmpeg, you could pass that environment variable in, and it would generate a dot file for you that you could then convert into an SVG. So just helpful feature of GStreamer that we kind of wrapped and made easier to use for our use case. Okay, so here's our issue. So we receive our new pad audio, right? So none of these, so where are we? Okay, so we received an audio pad on that. Perfect. all of this should be passing because otherwise we would get panics. So my guess is our issue, we're not getting we are already linked, right? So my guess is the pad type does not start with AudioX raw. So what I think we probably should do is dump this out, right? And Prime, if you're around right now, this is what I was talking about last night as far as macros go. You can use the print line, but the debug macro allows you to just sort of like wrap something in place like this. So as far as the calling code is concerned, it doesn't exist there. However, it'll print out the value as well. How old is tools? I think, McCann, I think it reaches a point where you just declare email bankruptcy and you just delete it all. Okay, so okay, now I am really confused. All right, hold on. Let's mark this, adding elements. Let's remove that. Okay. Because now we're not getting those errors. Do we have some sort of like race condition here? Because that debug message is what changed it. Mass deleting thousands of emails from 2011. Okay, so now it's working. What did we change? All right, let's go check.
Someone find you interesting, sir. It appears we have a new follower.
Predator, thanks so much for the follow. All right, let's... okay, so that's why, because the pads aren't discovered. Okay, that's why. This is why. All right, so now let's add that back. So the issue ended up being why it was like, oh, it just automatically started working is because the video stopped streaming from over here. So the RTMP input didn't have anything, I guess. No, it should have still had a video. No, it wouldn't have over... Yeah, there's nothing coming in over RTMP, so there was no stream. Therefore, this logic never got called. Okay, so let's see. Audio MPEG. Interesting. Okay, so let's see, what's the video one? So maybe these are too specific. Let's check this out really quick. So we are working on an RTMP switcher. So basically the idea here is we want to be able to have multiple streamers push to different endpoints. Then we want our switcher to be able to use them basically as cameras and switch between them or do picture-in-picture and push them out to, you know, one or more endpoints. We want to be able to also switch to a video or also have like a backup video of this speaker. And then if we measure a bitrate issue in between, we can fall back to their video. And we kind of want like a scheduler to control all of this. So that's what we're building now is this switcher part. Okay, so audio MPEG. Wait. Where's the video? Why do we not see video coming in here? Okay, let's... We can fix this one really quick by just coming up here and making this MPEG. But there's no guarantees here, right? Because we could be pushing different format audio. So we might have to do like a capabilities check. So like just look to see if it starts with audio slash, and then look at our other pad, our peer, and see whether it supports that same format. Type is audio MPEG, but link failed. Okay, so let's check out this element. So, what are we trying to connect it to? An audio convert? Audio convert. Okay, so let's check out our audio convert element and see what its capabilities are. Okay, so we have audio X raw. Okay. So we're gonna have to figure out connecting this to something else. That's gonna be our issue. We need to be able to MPEG. So we should be able to use like, is it going to be an MPEG transport stream? I don't even know if this is MPEG 1 or 2. But we might be able to pass this to like an MPEG. There we go. MPEG. Where's audio? Am I blind? Crap. Audio parsers. Okay, I'm curious what this used before. If we go in here and we try to use our we should be able to use the same thing and then just try to use the URI version of it and see what happens. At the very least, we can look at the pipeline and see what element the pipeline setup used. So it looks like for our RTMP setup at the very least, it's going to require quite a bit more work because we're going to have to know what formats people are going to be using. Just noticed you code in Rust. There's an awesome project of C# Fritz where he's working on tab annotated markup language. Oh, cool. Okay, so now we can look at this pipeline. And so this here is what the URI decode bin figured out. So it decided to use an RTMP2 source. Is that a thing? Let's look at that in a second too. And then on the other end of their FLD mux, it goes to a multi-queue, which is fine. But it's using AAC parse. And then AV decode. There's the audio. Where's the video? Oh, so wait, it's missing it. It didn't connect. Interesting. Okay, let's see. GST inspect. Let's just grep here for RTMP. Ooh, there is an RTMP2 source. What does that get us? Alright, wait. I don't even know what the differences between these are. Let's look at them. GST inspect, RTMP2 source. Okay, so okay, let's try it. Maybe we'll luck out, and what'll happen here is... Wait, no, not output, input. Maybe it'll produce audio X raw. I didn't look to see what it produced. Oh no, that's our FLV demux. Okay. I mean, still works, but... So we need... So we're going to need some custom logic here. I mean, for now, we could... Because in theory, right, we could do the same thing. We could connect an AAC parse to it. And then, what is AV deck? Is that just like libavs? GST inspect, AV. Okay, yeah. So it's using the AAC decoder from libav. Okay, that's fine. Its sync supports audio MPEG, so that would work. So we need to end up... because this gets complicated now. Because this is the callback. So basically, we need to say, hey, if it's an audio MPEG pad type, then we need... Well, we were already going to have to re-encode. Like, we knew that, right? Because we can't guarantee what stream types people are coming in. But up until now, we've been using the URI decode bin. So when we look at this, right, when we add an input with the URL, it's basically using all this find element logic and everything to generate this smaller part of the pipeline for us. And then produce these ghost pads that we connect our audio and video to. So that's what's been happening so far. However, there is clearly some sort of issue that we have with this when we use an RTMP URL. It's not producing audio. So I'm not... And so now we're trying to like handle that part of the pipeline ourselves. So I don't even know which one is more. Let's see. Let's look at RTMP source and RTMP2 source. So RTMP sources, this is, you know, one of the core maintainers. So I would assume that this is a good. And it was released September 8th. Okay. And so is this one. All right, well, we can try both. So we still have to solve the issue of we need to link not to audio convert, right? So GST inspect audio convert, right? This is just to make sure that we have the other stuff going. So we need to basically take this. If it is an MPEG type, then we need to... No, we can't do this. Crap. So we might have to move this logic. Because we actually need access to the pipeline for this. So I think that we need to actually take all of this and move it into our linking function. Because it's at that point that we have access to our pipeline. Like as soon as we add this to the pipeline is when all of this is gonna start happening, right? So I think we need to do it here. And we're just gonna run this just to double check. Ooh. Oh, because we're not gonna have all these in here. So this is going to be self.video.clone, self, or audio, okay. And this will be self.flvdmux. Okay. That's the audio. So now what I think we need to do here, we're going to have an issue though, because we're going to want to remove these elements too. All right, well, let's deal with it a little at a time. So let's attempt to, we know we have an MPEG stream here. So we need to come up here and just copy one of these. Okay, so we're gonna call this AAC parse. I don't know. No, we need AAC parse. Can we just assume it's always AAC? I guess for now we'll do this. As we run into other issues, we can expand it a little bit. Okay, so there's our AAC parse element. Why are you complaining? Okay. We're going to change that to an expect. Failed to create AAC parse element. Okay. I cannot find value name. Oh. We're not going to have access to it. Let name equal self.name.clone. Okay. So now we have our AAC parse element. We want to pipeline dot add. We're going to need to clone the pipeline too. Let's just call it P because we're going to want our own clone. Pipeline dot clone. Okay. And so this should be our AAC parse. We'll add that. And well, we need to decode on the other side of that too, right? So add many. Okay, so let's also AC decode. And this was lib, no, AV decode. AV decode AAC. Yeah. Okay. AV decode. Okay. All right, now we'll link these together, and I guess the other thing we would need to do is link it to our audio. Oh no, we don't want to do that. We need let audio convert, right? And video convert, because otherwise we're going to screw that up. We don't want to do that. Okay. So we also want to link our audio convert on the other side of this. No method link many. Oh crap. It's part of the GStreamer library. That's what we want. GST element link many. All right. Can we might be able to just use self.audio convert, right? And then this would be our and AAC parse and our borrowed AAC decoder. If we need this, and we can remove the other ones. Failed to link audio decoder. Okay. Cannot infer appropriate lifetime due to conflicting requirements. Joy. What can we not infer lifetimes about? Okay, so we clearly don't need these then, right? And can I just do a self.pipeline here? Is that going to work? No. Okay, maybe that does work. The and self on 401 is the problem. Okay, so... Okay. I had the feeling I was going to have to do this anyway, so... And so that's probably still complaining about this then. Oh, right, we've got the move up here. Yeah, yep. I wasn't paying attention to this, so yeah, this forces ownership for anything we reference outside of this, forces this to take ownership of it. Okay, value borrowed here after move. 478. Where did we move it? Move occurs because video has type, which is not implement copy. Oh, so we're referring to it somewhere. Oh, wait. Okay. Same issue. So we just need to change this to video convert. Okay, and then we just need to find where it links to our video pad here. And this should be video convert. That's just from copy and paste. And we need to find where we link our audio, because same thing, audio convert. But we're gonna change this in a second anyway. Okay. What are you warning me about? Just because we're throwing away result, that's fine. Okay. Expect failed to add audio decode elements to pipeline. Okay. So now we have all of this. So now what we should be able to do is, rather than link it to our audio convert, we really want to link it to our AAC parse. Oh, we don't have anything playing. I was like, we didn't see the pad added, but that's because it's connecting to the RTMP live source. All right, now we got some stuff playing. We should see the pad connect. There we go. So that succeeded, but we never left the playing state. So what I find interesting here, though, is that we don't see an additional pad get added for our video. Why? So we see all of this get... We also see that this kind of gets stuck here. And I think this is mainly because we need a cue. Oh no, we never set the state of these. That's why. Okay, but we still didn't see the video pad get added. GST inspect FLV demux. So why? Because we know it's coming here in XH264, right? We know that much. However, that shouldn't matter because we should have still seen this receive new pad message. And so we know at this point that the state has already been set, right? So where's our link? Okay, so here we should be able to say AAC parse. We have to get the state. Crap. I don't like having this logic here. But we're not even going to know this until then. So I don't think we have an option right now. So we'll start here, and if we need to, we'll rearrange the stuff. Okay, so so we're going to get the state. We're going to set it there. And then our AAC decoder. We need to set. Okay. In theory, we should at least see those two elements in a playing state now instead of a null state. However, that's not going to fix our issue. Well, it's not going to fix the audio issue. I mean, it would be nice to see or hear audio come through. No. Okay, so we're still stuck in paused. Interesting. So here's our AAC parse. That's not connected now. Why? It's saying it is, though. It says it linked. What if we wait till after we link it? Okay, so this is interesting. Pipeline state change from paused to paused. Why? We know that the pipeline state is playing because it hits there, and then we also see it here when we try to add the input. But then somewhere along the line it goes back to paused. We might have to do something special here. I still find it curious, though, that we can't just use the URI version here. Because it's effectively doing the same thing that we're trying to do, right? So this works. Oh, let's go see. That's fine. So this is the part that I don't understand. This should start over. Oh, it's not showing up at all. Did we have that working before? Oh, is it a timing issue? Like where it thinks the pipeline is at? Because this is just our background video playing. Yeah, look. We're not getting sound. We're getting lots of jitter. A lot of jitter and no sound. Okay. So we can see their demuxer goes into this multi-queue. So why are we not getting sound? I mean, I do see that we're changing from F32, nope, maintaining that. So we're going from non-interleaved to interleaved. We're going through the volume plugin here, but I think we already diagnosed that that has nothing to do with it, right? And we know this one isn't breaking. All right, let's see. I still want to figure out what this jitter issue is. It's kind of trippy watching him do that. So why no sound? Let's. What are we using now? We're using URI. So let's go into where our impl URI is, and let's find our volume. What happens if we remove volume from here? Because there's clearly an audio track in there, right? The audio mixer is playing, because otherwise we wouldn't have that sound control there. And this is only a problem when we come from RTMP though. That's the part that's confusing me most. Is if we're pulling some sort of video like that WebM file, it's fine. So it's either an artifact of the RTMP elements or FLV demuxer, or it is something specific to AAC. Okay, so yeah. So the question becomes also, we were able to do this, right? This was working. Pipeline is pre-rolling. Is this still left over from before? Okay, this is the new video. Yes, okay. But it says it's pre-rolling. That's not true, though. Okay, now I can't tell what's new and what's old. That's new. So we still have some, like, old stuff on here. Why are we pre-rolling? RTMP source. Uh-huh. Today is one of those days of fumbling around and not making much progress. So this is working fine. This is FFmpeg from a machine over here straight to RTMP. This one seems to be our issue though. Like, I know we had this working before. I'm not sure why this is stuck in pre-roll. GStreamer pipeline states. All right, pre-roll. All right, so pause state is a state in which an element is ready to accept and handle data. From most elements, this state is the same as playing. The only exception to this rule are sync elements. Sync elements only accept one single buffer of data and then block. At this point, the pipeline is pre-rolled and ready to render data immediately. So we're saying it's trying to fill its buffers. GStreamer pre-rolling. All right, a sync element can only complete the state change to pause after a buffer has been queued on the input pads. This process is called pre-rolling, is needed to fill the pipeline with buffers so that the transition to playing goes as fast as possible, with no visual delay for the user. Pre-roll is also crucial in maintaining correct audio-video synchronization and ensuring that no buffers are dropped in the syncs. After receiving a buffer or end of stream on a pad, the chain event function should wait to render the buffers. Okay. Yeah, so this is all of the buffers in the pipeline trying to fill up. However, there we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, so what is the deal here? So we're missing something, because this very simple pipeline works. And all we have is an RTMP2 source, and we can change this to an RTMP source. Although now we're like stuck in this. I wonder if that has something to do with trying to send here and the fact. I also want to see if we can get a graphiz document of what this pipeline looks like, because we are missing something. Come on. That's still playing. Okay. I need a way into this to like clear the manifest files out too. I think it's just that this RTMP thing is just stuck in some bad state. And it's waiting for that to free up. That's my guess, because last time what happened is once this HLS manifest finally disappeared. Oh, we can't look at it anyway. Once that finally disappeared, then we were able to push to it. I mean, realistically, we could just make up a new one, right? We can't view it right now, but, you know, we could... Yeah, okay. So it's able to do that. So this is just because we're, like, trying to reuse the same thing. Yeah. So we basically just have to wait for it to clear up. Oh, I see you're using IR over anyhow if when you want to do logging, then using tracing will work. I don't think I'm using anything specific for tracing. That's still something I need to implement yet is logging and tracing. Come on. There we go. So this is working. Okay, so what is the deal with our pipeline then? So we're not going to be able to reuse this. So let's just, what is the GST debug dot GStreamer debug dot directory. There we go. Okay. Dot directory. I forget who it was who was asking this earlier, but this is how we do this. So we're just gonna make a directory called graphiz here, and then we're going to set our to this, and then we will cargo run. No. Crap, no. We want this. And then we'll do equals / graphiz. Okay. Although we're stuck. So let's just, we don't care where it goes right now. Let's just send it somewhere. Okay, so now if we look in our graphiz directory, we can see all of the state changes. So when it went from null to ready, ready to pause, pause to playing, ready to ready, playing, pause, pause to ready. Okay, so what we're interested in is this one. So we're going to do a dot -t svg, that file, oops, graphiz. Okay. Then we're going to spit that out to, I don't know, playing dot svg. Okay. What? Oh, we need to redirect the output. Okay. Now let's just svg open. Okay. All right, let's. Okay, so this looks like they just have an RTMP source, which is going to the demuxer, which is going into queues, which I do know we need to do. Okay, so theirs is much simpler, right? Because this is just transmuxing, right? It's just pulling out the streams, so there's no audio parsing or anything that's taking place here. Okay. So, I mean, we do need a queue here. That's for sure. So it feels like we're losing the audio somewhere in our processing here, right? Tracing is a structural logging crate which lets you instrument spans inside of blocks, including linearizing the weird async mess that futures are. And IR has strong integration with it, so you can see where errors came from, such as... Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm going to have to work on that. Okay, so... So our issue with our pipeline is somewhere here, right? Because the one that we're doing, can we do let's go back to this. And rather than sending it to an RTMP sync, what if we just send it to an auto audio sync? And then, wait a second. Oh, no, that's not what we wanted. We need to keep that. Okay. Let's edit it in place. Okay. Okay. So we need the demuxer. We don't need a muxer. So let's just look at this. So there's our queue going to our RTMP sync. And hold on. What was my muxer? My demuxer. Okay. So here we want to send the video from the demuxer. We're going to send that into a queue and then to an auto video sync, right? Wait a second. My muxer audio. Okay, so here's our audio, here's our video. Send our audio to a queue and then to an audio sync, right? I think that'll work. RTMP is coming in. We demux it. That's called my demuxer. It's just called demuxer. Okay, and now we're piping that into a key. Now let's see what happens. Syntax error. Where? So we are trying to build an RTMP switcher so that we can have multiple streamers and then be able to like change cameras effectively and switch between different different live streamers and live videos and things like that. Okay, so that didn't go where we thought it would. Yeah, we've got some cool stuff working for it already, but there's some issues I'm still trying to resolve. So where's our pipeline error? I always the ones that I always confuse are these lines where we're trying to use a demuxer, right? So I understand this. So here we're creating these two things and we're naming them. But what exactly is going into the queue? I think that is. I think that's the queue before. That queue sits before the RTMP sync. Okay. Yeah, these are the ones I always screw up. So here. Okay, so after we've done the out. So that's where we named the demuxer. But after that, would come in handy as a 24/7 Twitch channel that could host other streamers when they come online and also run pre-recorded videos. Yeah, so that's actually exactly what we're looking to do. As well as, one, I want to use it for GopherCon, which I'm one of the organizers of, to do kind of a linear feed, you know, and switch to the MC that does the intros and stuff like that and have like a more seamless experience. The other thing would be cool to have is the scheduler control what time each person comes on, interleave like videos that are pre-recorded sessions, and then in addition to that, maybe like measure bitrate and then fall back to pre-recorded versions if the streamer goes offline. So if we make it in time, this will be used for GopherCon, but it will also be used for this Learn TV feed on Microsoft's Docs site. So those are the two use cases at the moment, plus whatever anybody else uses it for. Okay, so these couple of issues are sort of like really... These are those like moments where sometimes you need to walk away and like regroup. I mean, I guess I'll be ending shortly anyway. Oh, there is ire in there. I was wrong, Musin. This was Vega added this. I merged the pull request and forgot all about it. Okay, so it seems more likely to me now, looking at the difference between this primitive pipeline and ours, is the fact that there's no kind of transcoding going on here, right? The demuxer comes out. Stream format raw. Goes directly into a queue and then gets remuxed back together. So I think that our issue is somewhere in here. And so maybe what we really need to do is just play with command line versions here and see like at what point do we lose all of this? Because our pipeline is significantly more complex, right? Okay, wait, did we delete that line? Oh, I guess I did. There we go. Alright, so let's see if we can play with this. So there's our RTMP source. It's going to go into a demuxer. Okay. So what am I missing here? Do they queue theirs on the other side? Yeah, there are queues there. I'm gonna just kick this to the other line just so we can see it. Okay. So okay, we have the same thing, RTMP source. We send that into a demuxer, which is named. The only difference is that we're not also creating a muxer. Now there's a queue, and that queue exists behind their RTMP sync. So that's because they're trying to make their muxer flow into that queue. Okay. So then there's like this space issue. Oh, crap. Okay, so here... Here's where we're saying, hey, take the audio, send it to a queue, and then send that to my muxer audio. Okay, so this is our issue. We need this, right? Is that right? Okay, so RTMP source is going to go to a demuxer. We name the demuxer. Okay, then the audio from that we want to send to a queue and then to an audio sync. Then we're going to take the video. Okay. I think this is right. Wait. Bad pattern. There we go. Are you talking about my window manager? So I use the i3 window manager. Reason not linked. What's not linked? What'd I miss? Alright, so where's our GST debug dump.directory equals graph is. Okay. All right, let's look at that. Dot minus t svg graph is no. Graph is broken dot dot. Nope. Okay. What do we miss? Okay, so we've got our RTMP source connected to the demuxer, and we have the queues connected to the correct place. So our issue is that our demuxer is not connected to our queues. Okay, so we gotta figure out how to do that. Using Xmonad at the moment, was asking myself if I can stack the windows horizontally. Yeah, I love i3 just because all of these are like in children, right? So these are all siblings of each other, right? But this is the parent. Well, the parent is in a tabbed mode. So all three of these are siblings of each other. And then, so it's really cool to be able to do stuff like this and then full screen an individual one, or I can grab just these because these are siblings. So this is the parent of those. So if I just do this, then I could full screen those two things, or I could full screen this, and then I can just take, you know, individual pieces, split them however I want. So I could split this one here, or I could split it this way, and I can just keep doing that all day long. right? OBS does transcoding right. Why are you using Azure transcoder? So I'm actually not using a transcoder that exists inside of Azure. That's just the name of what I called that. I'm running a Docker container that's running Nginx with the RTMP module in it, and it's serving as just an endpoint for me to push RTMP data to. And then I threw together this quick page that's using HLS.js. Don't say what words. Oh, Docker and Nginx. Yep, but that's what that is. And so it's just also displaying a small web page that's taking an HLS packaged video. So basically, this Nginx RTMP module is serves as an RTMP endpoint both for pushing data and for RTMP clients to connect to, as well as it's taking all RTMP data that's coming in and repackaging it into HLS data so that we can view it in a web player. That's all that's serving for. So that just happens to be what I named my Azure container instance. That's it. But secondly, OBS is good for transcoding for a particular format. However, we still need to do some transcoding because our switcher is going to be possibly mixed together content that's encoded in multiple different audio formats or video formats, and we need to mix all of those together. So our switcher is also going to transcode. So we need to look at this. What are we missing here? Okay, so we noticed that our demuxer was connected, right? Broken. Okay, so our demuxer is connected there. And if we come this direction, we do have, so this is our issue then. Does that not work then? What am I missing? Yeah, so we get an erroneous pipeline. I always mess this stuff up. Nick Sadev, what's going on? Yeah, so there's a couple of reasons for queues, right? So in GStreamer, when you use a queue, you actually decouple the components from each other so they can run in separate threads. So that is one reason for it. One of their recommendations, though, is that whenever you have like a fan in where you have two things becoming one, that you should queue those. And then the reverse of that is also true. Oh, we don't have a T, but here, if we split those out, that you're supposed to have a queue. The other reason to use queues is, this is really kind of hard to think about, but if we look at like our audio and video coming through each of these, right? The pipeline's going to kind of like roll. It's going to read some data off the sources and then push them into the elements downstream. And it's going to keep doing this, but it can't just like push audio and wait and then push video. This is sort of all done at one time. So what'll happen is each of these elements kind of have their own internal buffers inside of them. And once they're full, they block, right? So let's say that the audio mixer and the video mixer, which is here, let's say that those things have two different buffer sizes, right? So, and we're not going to talk about bytes here because that gets a little more confusing, but let's just say seconds. Let's say that the video mixer can store, you know, half a second worth of data in it. 30 frames per second, that's say 15 frames. But let's say that the audio mixer can only hold, I don't know. Oh, let's say the audio mixer can hold 60 seconds or something like that. No, a full second. So what'll happen though is all of these things, because of the clock, are going to move together. But what happens is if the video mixer can't store enough data, it will block. which means the audio mixer can't read in the data that it needs. So you have sort of this like lock that happens where the audio mixer needs more data to play so that the clock can keep going, but the video mixer is blocked because it can't hold any more data. So that's also a reason for queues, is to kind of decouple those so that you can create this buffer where data can be pushed in so that the other mixer can catch up. Does that make sense? So there will be, there actually is, I think, an instance that we're seeing this in our pipeline when we're running the video locally, where you can see that happen, where the pipeline just sort of stalls. And it's because there's not enough room somewhere in one of these components. I don't think we're going to get this finished. I need to figure out what the deal here is. I always forget how this works. I know we refer to it here, but we can't add. I'm trying to remember if we do this the other way around. That sounds complicated. I'm just a newbie in video tech, but thanks for the thing. Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, it's actually a really, really cool industry to be in. I am by no means an expert. I am a hobbyist. I used to work for Comcast doing some video streaming and multiplexing stuff, but I mostly did infrastructure there. I patched the stream multiplexers and stuff like that here or there for stuff, but I worked on a lot of the components that failed over those things and ensured they stayed running and things like that. So I had like kind of a cursory kind of understanding of these things, and I worked on some of the ad insertion stuff too. But so I'm very much learning as well. But it's really fun to mess with. Okay, so we have. I need to figure out this individual command line thing because it'd be nice to just sort of play with this and figure out at what point this goes wrong. And maybe the right thing to do here is to just create like an individual binary test file where we ignore our whole like type system here. And I need to find all of those that I commented out. There we go. Because that was not our issue. So we might need to come up with like some basic examples of these things. All right. Okay. GStreamer, demux, I don't know, auto video sync. I just want to find a working example of this because I forget what order these things go in. I built in over-the-top sort of this for one of the movie producers here, as all the theaters are shut, and it was using AWS Media. Oh, cool, yeah. Yeah, so, you know, there are, the thing that I find is there's a lot of endpoints for you to use, right? There's a lot of good transcoder services and things like that. AWS has media services, Azure has media services. There's lots of other companies who do things like that. Same thing, you can push this stuff to Twitch or YouTube or whatever. But I haven't found anything that allows like a seamless handoff between presenters without using like Zoom or Skype or something. So that's muxing. We want demux. Okay, so here we're taking our file source. We're demuxing stuff, right? So there's our demux audio. That's the video, that's not the sound. Okay, here we go. I always forget the syntax of this. All right, so there's that. It goes into our demuxer, we name it. There's our audio. Okay, so how is this different than what we're doing? Okay. I want to look at this. All right, so same thing. There's our demux. We name it. We grab the demux audio. We send it into a queue. We send that to... We can skip all of this stuff, right? That's just part of their pipeline. And then we go into our video. And we send that to a queue. Okay, so why does that not work? I don't understand. Oh. Yeah, I'm dumb. So if we take all of this, right? The reason for this, right, is likely just because
Someone finds you interesting, sir. It appears we have a new follower.
Junior, thanks so much for the follow. Okay, so this is saying it can't link, right? There's an internal data stream error. So if we look at our demuxer, right? Our FLV demux, right? So GST inspect FLV demux. So coming off the other side of this, we probably have audio MPEG, right? In fact, I know that's what we have because we've already looked at this. So also, we are ultimately sending this to an audio sync. So let's look at what that supports. Audio sync, right? So if we look at this, it doesn't exactly tell us what that supports. But if we look at the video sync, that doesn't tell us what it supports either. So my guess is that it has something to do with... What do we have in our downloads? Okay, so we have this MP4 file, so let's just do a GST. We'll skip the RTMP side of things and let's just see what we can do. So, no, we want to discover. GST discover, and we're going to look at downloads, Big Buck Bunny, Sunflower. Okay. So we've got H264 encoding here, and we've got MPEG-1. Okay, so let's see if we could just do a GST launch and pass it a file source location equals home Eric downloads. Hold on. Okay. Ah, no. Okay. So this is our file source, right? It's not going to do anything, but can we just pipe this into an auto video sync? No, we cannot. So can we do a, what do we have for GST inspect? So we have an X264 decode somewhere, right? Oh, that's going to use NVENC. Interesting. I mean, well, we can use that anyway. So let's see whether we can link this to our NVH264 decoder. and then use an video convert, and then try to, no. So there's a negotiation issue there. So what was our issue before then? We don't have a buffer pool negotiated. Okay, can we just push that to a queue? Buffer pool not negotiated. Yeah, so we need to get this into like an XRAW format, right? I'm gonna put one on that side too, even though that's not gonna solve our issue. Okay, so decoder not initialized. Negotiation problem. Just let me decode this already. X264. NVH. What were we using? NVH. I guess we could just use libav. EV decode H264. We still have negotiation issues. What does file source produce? Although I absolutely want to use FFmpeg, but timelines were tight and had to go with off-the-shelf endpoints. Yeah. Well, I mean, most of the off-the-shelf stuff is using FFmpeg or libav under the hood anyway. All right, I don't think I'm gonna get this figured out. I got a hard stop here in a couple of minutes, so we are going to have to pick this back up potentially tomorrow, if not Monday. I don't typically stream on Fridays, but I may be on depending on what's going on. GopherCon is in November. So it's going to be completely online. So let me give you a link. So yeah, November 9th. Okay, let's find somebody to raid. Who's streaming? Oh, actually, if everybody wants some fun here, Demuxed is actually a conference for video streaming and stuff like that. So this is all like the industry professionals who, build the encoders at Twitch and, go in air and all of that stuff. If you're interested in continuing your knowledge on video streaming stuff, they're doing like some 24-hour like mega meetup. Otherwise, we could raid Griffing or somebody. So Demuxed itself is in October, but like right now they're doing like some 24-hour long Twitch stream. All right, let's do it. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Again, I don't normally stream on Fridays. I may, just because I'm trying to get a bunch of stuff done. I typically stream between like 12:30 and 5 p.m. Eastern time. So if I don't see you tomorrow, I will definitely see you on Monday. Thanks again for hanging out. Oh, wait. We apparently cannot raid them. They must have that disabled. Well, that's kind of lame. Okay, then. We raid Anthony Wright's code quite a bit. Do we want to get CM Griffing or the Alt F4? We got somebody working on Zig. All right. Let's do. I don't know. Let's do Griffing. I don't think I've rated Griffing in a while. One viewer.